Hello everyone. Ever heard about the disc displacements with reduction, disc dislocations without reductions, disc dislocations with reductions, and all those terms? And wondered what they actually are? If you want to know what they actually are, this video is for you. Let's understand the disc derangement disorders in today's video. Disc derangement disorders are characterized by a deranged position of the articular disc, that is, a positioning of disc in any position other than its normal position inside the temporomandibular joint. In a healthy temporomandibular joint, the condyle rests against the articular disc such that it is placed against the junction of the posterior thick band and the intermediate zone, with this condyle disc assembly resting against the posterior superior surface of the articular eminence. This normal position of the disc is maintained by the disc anatomy itself and the intra-articular pressure. Any change in the intra-articular pressure or a change in the disc anatomy leads to starting of these disc derangement disorders. A thinning of the posterior thick band of the disc allows it to be pulled a little anteromedially under the constant anteromedial pull of the inferior lateral pterygoid muscle. The condyle now, instead of sitting at the junction of the posterior thick band and the intermediate zone of the disc, starts sitting on either the posterior thick band of the disc or the junction of the posterior thick band and the retrodiscal tissues. This is the first stage of the disc derangement disorder, which is also called as disc displacement. In this first stage of the disorder, the condyle can translate from the posterior thick band to the intermediate zone as the patient starts opening the mouth and complete the entire range of motion, which encompasses both the rotational and the translational movement. So the patient is able to open his or her mouth to its full extent. As the disc thinning continues and the disorder progresses, the disc lies more anteriorly over the condyle, leading to the second stage of the disorder, which is called as disc dislocation. As the patient starts opening his mouth, the condyle has to jump across the posterior thick band of the disc to the intermediate zone, producing what is commonly called an opening click. And then the entire condyle disc assembly can complete the range of motion from rotation to translation and open the mouth to its full extent. Since the condyle can be reduced over its normal position over the disc, that is at the intermediate zone, so this stage of the disorder is called as disc dislocation with reduction. As the derangement disorders progress, the disc becomes increasingly thinned out, the ligaments lengthen a lot, and the discal anatomy gets degraded. Now, it becomes increasingly difficult for the condyle to assume its normal position over the intermediate zone to produce any kind of movement. We enter into the third stage of the disorder, which is called as disc dislocation without reduction. At this stage of the disorder, even if the patient tries to open his or her mouth, the condyle cannot jump over the posterior thick band of the disc to assume its normal position over the intermediate zone. Hence, you perceive no clicking inside the joint. In the initial stages, it becomes very difficult for the patient to open his mouth beyond 20 mm or, in his terms, beyond 1 to 2 finger wide. In later stages, however, the ligaments get lengthened so much that the condyle can push the disc all the way to open the mouth nearly to its full extent. The source of pain in any of the three disc derangement disorders is the retrodiscal tissues, since the condyle is either sitting at the junction of the posterior thick band and the retrodiscal tissue or on the retrodiscal tissues itself, as in disc dislocations. In the first stage of the disorder, that is disc displacement, the patient may be aware of just a catching or a little pain while opening. In the later stages like disc dislocations with reduction, the patient may be aware of clicking in their temporomandibular joints accompanied with pain. The second stage may also be characterized by an absence of pain altogether, and the patient may just report clicking sounds with his temporomandibular joint since a very long time. The third stage is the most remarkable in terms of clinical symptoms. The patient reports with sudden onset of restriction of mouth opening to 20 to 25 mm, with severe pain around the temporomandibular joint area, and no joint sounds, or in their words, disappearance of pre-existing joint sounds. The later phase of the disc dislocation without reduction disorder is characterized by a near normal mouth opening, but the pain spreads to a more widespread area. The pain now involves not only the temporomandibular joint but also spreads to the parietal region, the temporal region, the region behind the eye, on the same side of the face, the half of the face on the same side as the disorder, and sometimes the head and neck region also. I hope you understood the three disc derangement disorders and their presentations in our clinical setup. If you want to learn about the treatment protocols and all the three disc derangement disorders, stay tuned for my next video.